Welcome back to Let the Chips Fly podcast, and in this episode we step back from wood carving and talk about another form of art from recycled materials.
And not just any art. We are diving into a world of hidden, gigantic, whimsical creatures built entirely from waste. We're talking about the massive wooden sculptures by the Danish artist Thomas Dambo.
I have to say, when our listeners sent over this stack of sources on Dambo's global mission, I was just immediately hooked. We're talking about these colossal wooden trolls tucked away in forests all around the world.
It's this incredible mix of art, adventure, and honestly, a pretty radical environmental message.
It really is. So for our discussion today, we're going to get into who Thomas Dambo is and his whole mission to turn trash into treasure. Then we'll zoom in on his trolls, a field studies exhibit in Asheville, North Carolina.
And we'll look at the specific messages in that exhibit, and then we'll connect it all back to the much darker, much more terrifying mythological roots of trolls in Old Norse history.
All right, let's go looking for some trolls. So Thomas Dambo, he's Danish, internationally known, and his whole creative vision is, well, it's pretty simple.
It is. Use waste. That's it. He's an upcyclist, and all his materials are sourced from scrap.
So not just recycled, but like literally just stuff people have thrown away.
Exactly. Wooden pallets, fallen branches, reclaimed timber, twigs. Nothing is new. It's a really powerful commitment to the idea.
It seems like it's not just about him making the art, right? He wants everyone involved.
Oh, absolutely. He's very clear on that. He emphasizes that people are central to this. He's said that he can set an example, but really, it's the whole world that needs to waste no more.
That collaborative idea really comes through when you look at the just the sheer scale of his work.
The scale is staggering. I mean, he's not just a local artist. He's incredibly prolific. We're talking over 170 trolls scattered globally.
Over 170, wow. In countries like China, Chile, Australia.
Belgium, and a whole bunch right here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really amazing is the community that sort of sprung up around the art.
You mean the troll hunters?
Yes. It's not just about looking at a sculpture, it's a global treasure hunt. People travel, sometimes across continents, just to find these things.
So how do they find them? Are there maps?
Sometimes. Often there's a little poem on a placard near each troll, which gives you a cryptic hint to the next one. But for the serious hunters, there's a global database, trollmap.com.
No way.
Yeah, and you can mark a troll as found using a QR code on a little stone or metal placard nearby.
That's next level gamification of sustainability. It turns finding art into this huge shared adventure. It actually gets you out into nature.
It connects that human need for discovery with his need to communicate this big environmental message. It's brilliant.
So speaking of specific locations, let's focus on the one our listener was really interested in, trolls, a field study at the North Carolina Arboretum.
Right, in Asheville. This collection was the first North American host for this specific series. It was a huge deal.
And it featured 12 sculptures, but Dambo called them baby trolls.
He does, which is pretty funny when you realize his biggest works can be, 36 feet tall?
So these babies are still averaging around 8 feet tall.
Oh yeah, they're still massive. And the setting for this exhibit adds another layer to the whole story. I mean, it's tragic, but beautiful.
You're talking about the storm.
Yes, Tropical Storm Helene. It completely devastated the area. The Arboretum estimated that about 10,000 trees were toppled on the property.
That's a huge loss. I mean, is there a risk of, romanticizing that kind of disaster by putting art there?
That's a fair question. But they handled it so well. The Arboretum and Dambo used the disaster as part of the solution. They took the timber milled from those very downed trees.
The ones that fell in the storm.
The very same ones.
Yeah.
And they used that wood to craft the educational signs for the exhibit. It turned destruction into this story of resilience and reuse. The whole place became part of the message.
That's an incredibly powerful pivot. Okay, so the story of the Asheville trolls is that they're on a field study. They're here to learn about us.
Exactly. To watch people, take notes, and then give us some advice on how to be better stewards of the planet. They're basically environmental anthropologists.
Let's get into those field notes then, because this is where the messaging gets really specific. Let's start with Tax.
Tax. He's the youngest of the 12. His hair is made of yew wood, and he's the one who snuck out of the troll camp and convinced the Moon Mother to let his siblings go on the study.
And his big observation of humanity.
It's maybe the most innocent one. He says, "You little humans are weird, but I love you because of the snacks."
Huh. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get to a troll with maybe a sharper critique of our behavior. Lark.
Ah, yes, Lark. Her hair is made of larch wood. And he was just baffled by one human activity she saw.
Which was?
She saw people standing in these really long lines for food, right next to a trash can where other people were throwing away perfectly good food.
Oh, wow.
And so her core message, her big piece of advice for humanity, is just 2 words: eat trash.
That is provocative, especially on a plaque in a beautiful arboretum. But it really throws our whole consumer culture into focus, doesn't it?
It really does. It forces you to confront the sheer scale of food waste. If food is that easy to just throw away, what are we actually valuing?
A very good point. Then you've got Poppy, who's looking at our digital lives.
Right. She's holding a bunch of discarded cell phones, and the guidebook calls them pocket stars.
Pocket stars. That's beautiful and kind of heartbreaking. This amazing technology that connects us to everything, and we just treat it as disposable.
It's e-waste, just disguised as convenience. And then some of the other trolls were more focused on the emotional and physical side of being human.
Right. Our need for rest.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Valley, with the walnut hair, he just found the human world a bit much. Tiring. He even calls our language nuance and tiring.
And what was his big takeaway from observing us?
He was just happy to see humans spending so much time sleeping on the couch. He concluded that they seem to need the rest. It's this simple, empathetic observation.
And his sister, Lil Nut, took that couch observation even further.
Oh, yeah. She managed to get inside a human cave, a house, and discovered the sea couch. And her description is just perfect.
What did she say?
She was amazed you could lie down in any direction you want, literally do anything in it, and not have to get up all day.
I feel deeply understood by an 8-foot wooden troll.
Her final note was, Lil Nut really understands the humans regarding the couch. It's this profound idea that our world is so complex we've had to invent these extreme resting stations. It's about mental sustainability.
And we should mention that some of these are interactive, too. You can actually crawl inside parts of them.
Yeah, Big Nut has a stick cage, and his sister Lil Nut has a net you can get under. You literally step into their world.
Which is such a great transition. To really appreciate what Dambo is doing with these friendly eco-warriors, we have to talk about where trolls came from.
Exactly. And this is where you need to forget the cartoons, forget those little plastic toys with the crazy hair. The history is dark.
So who are the original trolls?
Well, the first thing to know is that the Old Norse word troll was really broad. It was kind of a catch-all for any number of mythical, dangerous beings.
So not one specific creature.
No. It could be a giant, a werewolf, even a demon. They were simply something dangerous that was not human. And they were consistently described as antisocial.
And they were associated with the edges of the world, right?
Deeply. They lived on the periphery, far from human settlements. You'd find them in cavernous mountains, deep forests, the sea, all the wild, liminal places where humans were most at risk.
So they're basically the other, the embodiment of the dangers lurking just outside the village firelight.
Precisely. The term was even connected to the dead. If you died violently, you'd gone to the trolls. And some think it was even used to describe, ethnically different peoples the Norse encountered, like the Inuit.
That makes sense. They embodied the fear of the unknown. Did they have any weaknesses?
They did. Originally, they were afraid of lightning, which is a clear nod to Thor, the great protector. And then later, after Christianity arrived, that fear shifted. Suddenly, they were terrified of the pealing of church bells. You can see the culture changing through its monsters.
And this mythology evolved differently in different places.
It did. In Swedish and Norwegian folklore, trolls often stayed pretty dangerous and cunning. But in Danish tales, they tended to become more grotesque and stupid, easily fooled by a clever hero like the Ash Led.
That's a huge journey. From a terrifying shape-shifting demon to a whimsical 8-foot-tall commentator telling us to take more naps.
Dambo has totally reshaped the narrative, and that's the genius of it. He takes these mythological figures and plants them in a real place, a specific ecosystem.
So their physical presence requires us to protect their home, protect the forest.
It's storytelling that works. It's so much more powerful than a dry scientific report about habitat loss. You've got this giant, recognizable character, a friend who needs you to protect their home. The ancient trolls were the danger in the wilderness watching us.
And now Dambo's trolls are in the wilderness watching us, kind of terrified of what we're doing to their world.
The script has been completely flipped. The danger used to be the forest. Now the danger is us, our consumption, our waste.
So what does this all mean for you, the new troll hunter? The Asheville trolls are studying us. When they take their notes back to the troll hive, What observation about humankind would you want them to take back that truly reflects the best way we care for our planet? Think about that. What would Tax, Lark, and Lil Nut observe about your daily sustainable actions? That's what we leave you with this week.